Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Dallas Singles Toastmasters. Tonight it is September 10th, and it is contest night for us. Before we start, let me go ahead and quickly point out how to reach our agenda, which has got slightly modified agenda because we are doing the contest. We, of course, this is our website, DallasSocialToastmasters.com, and if you go to DallasSocialToastmasters.com, you will find the current schedule in the third column under Members section. When you click on that, it will open, he says it will open, this copy of our agenda, which, again, it's normal format for our agenda, but except for the lineup, because we have multiple vote counters and timers because we are at a contest tonight. That's how to reach all of those parts. Go ahead and stop the share. And with that having been done, we will go ahead and pass over to our invocation and pledge and contest master, John Vissels. John.
Yay, thank you everybody. Welcome to contest. I'd like first to say, have a little invocation and pledge here. I wish us all safety and non-COVID entertainment and life. Now, the theme of our meeting tonight is Autumn in September. I wrote in there autumn is September, but it's not really. But anyway, autumn in September. I know everybody, we've already had some offline or off meeting discussion about the cool temperatures, the unusually cool temperatures early this year. For this time of year, when I used to live in Amarillo, this didn't happen until closer to Halloween. So I know that Colorado the other day had a 60-degree drop in temperature in one day, and they had snow. And that's quite unusual for this early in the season for them. So it's just kind of here, the Middle West, the East Coast and Midwestern states, they didn't get this. Poor guys, haha. But we got a nice little cool spread. And from what I've seen, it's not going to get that much warmer. We're not going to get back into the hundreds anytime soon. Maybe we'll have an Indian summer or something and get everybody overheated. But tonight, I'd like to move on to the crux of our meeting tonight, and that is contest. Speech contests are an important part of Toastmasters' education program. Speech contests provide an opportunity for speakers to gain contest experience and to recognize the best speaker and encourage everyone. Contests also provide an opportunity to learn by observing the most proficient speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters training. So tonight we're going to have one contest, but we also have a presenter for humorous speech, and she will be the target speaker for our contest evaluation tonight. So I'd like to go ahead and introduce our duty holders. Our duty holders tonight are timers, Dagan Newland and Mark Schroeder. So do you want to explain one of you? Dagan, you explain what the timer's role is and why we have two.
Okay, so first the timer's role is to keep track of the time. So I noticed that Karen's speech is 7 to 10 minutes. So at 7 minutes, she will get the,
Is that correct, Karen? That was left over. How long is your speech? Unmute your mic. Okay, there you are.
I thought it was a 5 to 7 minute speech.
Okay, 5 to 7. I'm sorry, that was left over. I didn't change that.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 to 7, guys.
Okay, yeah, 5 to 7. So at 5 minutes, she'll get the green. At 6 minutes, she'll get the yellow. And at 7 minutes, she'll get the red and have 30 seconds to wrap up. And the reason why we have two timers is because it's a contest, and that is part of the contest rules to have two timers just to make sure everything is copacetic. And when it comes to the evaluators, each evaluator is 2 to 3 minutes, so they'll get the green at 2. At 2:30, they'll get yellow, and at 3 minutes, they'll get the red and have 30 seconds to wrap up. So that is my timing duty as well as Mark's timing duty. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dagan. Now, we have 2 vote counters tonight, and our vote counters are going to be Mark Sims and Nicholas. Blanked on your last name. So let's go. Since Mark cannot be seen, Nicholas, why don't you explain what the vote counter's duty is and why we have 2 tonight?
Great, thank you, John. As vote counter, I'm going to collect and count the ballots of when the audience votes for, the best speaker, table topic speaker, and the evaluator, and the big 3.
No.
Am I reading the wrong one right now?
Yeah, the only votes we'll be counting tonight are evaluators.
Okay, got it. So the votes tonight are going to be for the evaluators of this evening, and please send your votes to me in the group chat for who you think is the best evaluator. And back to you, John.
Okay. And you'll also send, besides Nicholas, you'll send private chat to Mark Sims, who is our second vote counter. That way we have a comparison, and everything, as Dagan says, will be copacetic because we'll have concurrence between who the winner will be tonight's contest.
John Vessel's
Yes,
my
Mr. Sims.
computer is incredibly frozen. I think it's downloading some updates. What all that means is that I can't make it do anything. So when I click on the chat feature, it's not doing anything. I just get that churning symbol. So unless this clears up, I may not be able to use the chat.
Okay. So I'll take that
We've
into
also
account.
noticed, by the way, that we're unable to put him on mute. Both Rob and I have attempted, and it's not taking it.
The only thing I can try is to exit and then come back on.
If that's what you prefer to do. But if you're running updates, it probably won't even exit out until all the updates have been brought on your computer, so to put you on a delay.
That is the case. It might simply mess me up, or I may just be frozen in time right now.
Okay. Well, we've got a few minutes, before we actually will be casting votes. So why don't we wait and see how you go? And if it comes down to it, I will make Karen or somebody else that doesn't have a job role as the second vote counter.
Thank you.
And we'll just go from there from now. Okay. Cool. All right. So we won't have all counter or table topics. We won't have table topics either, but we won't have all counter or posture bell tonight. So those will be our only duties, timers, and vote counters. Now, this contest is humorous speech and evaluation contest. We only have one person representing us for humorous speech, so that's going to be Karen Lee. Karen Lee will give her speech, and the evaluators will be Lee and Rob Giles, and through a random pick, Lee King will be our first evaluator and Rob Giles will be the second evaluator. Also, at the end of the night after we do the evaluation contest, we will do a round robin because Karen is also practicing her humorous speech for contests. So we'll do a round robin evaluation of her so that we can give her our input on how she might improve her speech for the next contest. All right. So that being said, let's move on to our humorous speech contestant and target, Miss Karen Lee. Her speech title is COVID-19 Humor. It's 5 to 7 minutes. Karen Lee, COVID-19 Humor.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. In late March, the federal government declared a shutdown in Dallas County and also in our local area. My neighbor across the hall told me about it. And my sister called me at the same time. I was made aware of the fact that we had to wear masks in essential businesses. We had to do hand washing, and also we had to practice social distancing. What is a government shutdown? Is the sky falling? I'd put on the mask and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe at all. And then I'd go into businesses and I understand masks are for keeping my germs away from other people. I don't care about other people. I think it's every woman for herself. Then I'd walk around in my neighborhood and I would see masks hanging on rearview mirrors. I would think, no fuzzy dice are hanging on rearview mirrors anymore. My 2-year-old niece had a hard time keeping her mask on at first. But finally now, she's taking care of keeping it on because she's gotten adjusted to it. She doesn't like it. I don't think anybody likes it. But I get a kick out of watching people in their cars, driving around, wearing their masks, all by themselves. And now we're encouraged to wash our hands or use alcohol sanitizer when we have no soap and water available. I used to drink from a hose and eat dirt when I was a little kid. Well, I think I've turned out all right. And now we're required to social distance. We're required to be 6 feet away from other people. John Donne said, "No man is an island unto himself." And I began to see that we're all depending on each other. We have to depend on each other. I saw an internet cartoon recently, and in the cartoon, the man and woman were dating, and they had on their mask and they were 6 feet apart. And then fast forward to the wedding, and the man and the woman were in full protective gear, and the official said, "You may now fist bump your bride." I also went to a doctor's appointment recently, and the doctor was in full protective gear. He was sitting 6 feet away from me. He wanted to examine me. And I'd sit there and I'd say, "Doc, I'm over here. How is the doctor going to examine me? It'd be 6 feet away." He's not. Well, all teasing aside, we've gone through a lot of changes this year. And we're supposed to be practicing using our masks, hand washing, social distancing. these are a few things that a few rules that we can use to apply to keep ourselves safe and also our loved ones. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Karen. Now let's start with Karen, don't run off.
Okay.
So Mark and Dagan, did Karen qualify on time?
Yes.
Mr. Schroeder?
Sorry, I had already relayed mine to Dagan for him to reply as master. Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so Karen, you did qualify on time. Karen, I'd like to get to know you a little bit. So how long have you been in Toastmasters?
Well, I was a Toastmaster for 11 years. And then I came back here last May.
Okay. And which
Before you
are,
start this part, you should probably put us in break. John, before you start
I was
this, you
gonna do
should
it
put
right after
Rob
that.
and I
Okay,
in
fine.
breakout room.
Okay, fine. Lee and Rob. Mark, you want to move them into a breakout room?
Let me see if I can do that, and I will confirm once I've done it. Need 2 rooms. And we'll... All right. Sign. Rob and Lee. Join. Move to. Oh. I am trying to confirm that I've accomplished that. I'm still seeing
I still
Rob.
see Rob. Oh, there he's gone. So Rob, can you hear me? Lee, can you hear me?
Hang on,
Well, I guess
hang on 1 second. I should be able, unassigned. Oh, the problem is the other people didn't end up assigned to any room the way I did it. I see.
What other people?
Everybody else, nobody, technically I've got, everybody else is unassigned. They're not in a breakout room. Let me do that. That's because of the fact that we did this,
Oh, you just invited me to join the breakout room.
I know.
Hit later. Oh, who else is gone now? John's gone now.
My intent is to put everybody in a breakout room. All right, now we should have 2 breakout rooms.
Okay.
Okay, we should have, why do I not have everybody else? Everybody join.
All right. So what are we actually going to do in here?
Well, we're just staying away from the others for the moment.
Okay.
So who do I not have?
There's
Dagan-
Nicholas
Dagan needs to
now.
join.
Dagan, Karen, Sims.
And Sims. And Sims, ugh, who knows whether he can join or not.
I know we can see his screen now. I chatted with him, but he didn't reply to me, so I don't know if he was still getting chat. But
Seemed like he wasn't lagging that much when he got in.
when he finally got in,
Let me see if I can get to Karen.
there's Dagan.
The only person I show missing is Karen.
Well, why
Sims.
do we have to do this?
Because the problem was when you break out into breakout rooms, you assign everybody to a room. So we are now in breakout room
There
1.
we go.
We are now all in breakout room 1. Lee and Rob are in breakout room 2.
Okay. Well, we're all here now.
We're supposed to be here.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in this breakout room with us. It's a long story. I can't put them in a room without putting us in a room at the same time.
Okay.
So we're in room 1, they're in room 2. And when
I don't like that.
when I close it, we all go back together.
Yeah, but can you get one of them back in without the other?
Yes, I should be able to move one in.
Okay, fine. So Karen, back to the question at hand. What is your highest level of achievement in Dallas Singles and Toastmasters?
I was advanced communicator bronze.
Okay, thank you. So that being said, like I said, we're going to do a round robin with you or for you, Karen, at the end of the night so that you can get our input so that you can, work on things for your next time you give the speech. And like Rob said, if you want to come practice, go and do another practice speech for us over the next couple of weeks, we can get that worked in without any trouble. Okay? So now, when we're going to bring in the evaluators, what I'm going to have you do is, or ask everybody to do is, there'll be a moment of silence after each evaluation, and everybody will just stay there and let's not discuss anything for 1 minute, and then we'll bring in the second evaluation contestant. And then after that, we don't really need a long big old silence. We don't have judges that are voting right now as we do in a typical contest. So after you hear both speakers, okay, then we will vote for who you thought did the best job, and you will send those votes directly to Nicholas. What's your last name, Nicholas? I'm blanking on your name.
It's all right, John. Elwood?
Elwood, thank you.
It's all right.
That's all right. I just could not think of it tonight.
Think of the Blues Brothers.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Elwood. And the other vote counter tonight is Mark Sims. So please send your votes to both of them. And basically the same vote. Don't mess with our all right. So with that being said, we have 2 evaluation contestants tonight, and that's going to be Lee King, who will go first from a random draw prior to the start of our meeting. And then after that, we'll do Rob Giles. So if you're ready, Mr. Schroeder, can you, what?
Do they get a certain amount of time to do this, to prepare?
They're supposed to have something like 5 minutes, I believe.
Oh, well, crap.
How long has it been?
We should have been timing that then. I don't think it's been quite 5 minutes.
I don't believe it has either.
Okay. So let's go. Let's say it's been 3. So let's do 2 minutes from now.
Okay. Hold on. Let me start.
Good.
Stop. Reset. All right. I just started.
And that's probably about right because you talked to Karen for about that long. Yeah. I think that's
and actually time to go ahead.
I'll put my green screen when it hits 2.
Okay. So
also just to prepare, I will be bringing Lee in first, correct?
Yes, Lee first.
Okay, so what I will end up doing is I am going to go into their room to explain that, meaning I will leave this room.
Okay.
I will explain that, bring Lee in, and then come back as well.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just so it may take a moment for all of that to occur.
And so that's like preparation time while we were being moved to another room. They still had time too. So there we go.
True.
That's okay.
All right.
Yay.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, everyone. We've never actually tried to use breakout rooms in exactly this form.
Right.
Well, if you go to that room, Mark, and we never see you again, it's been nice knowing you.
I can do that.
Well, we knew him. Anyway. Okay, while I've got you here, let me also prepare you. No, I'm just teasing, Mark. You know that. So please give your contestants your full attention while they're speaking tonight. There will be that minute of silence we're going to give between each speaker. And typically that's to allow a judge, but we're just going to give them a pause time. Recording is not permitted, haha. This is a virtual meeting, sure it is. So, all that being said, okay, got that out of the way. So
We've also
please
always used the
remember,
rule that recording was allowed with permission.
right. And it is, we have permission. Go ahead, what?
Okay, I show 2 minutes.
Thank you. Yeah,
All right, I am going to leave for the other room, bringing Lee back.
okay, cool. Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone. I am, in theory, in your room now, and I will be bringing, just to let you know, I will be bringing Lee back over. And from there, eventually I will come back for you, Rob, and then we'll rejoin everyone.
Okay, one of the things that I was mentioning, and I thought I was saying it to everybody, but Lee pointed out I was probably just saying it to him, was to possibly have you or somebody else come back in just to kind of converse with me so that I don't have additional time to do anything that Lee wasn't able to do. So, but that's up to you whether you want to do that. I know you're a timer, but maybe have, I don't know. Everybody's
I'd be okay with doing that.
or have John maybe, because he's, not
Well,
timing.
either one of us. Yeah, let's see. I'm the timer.
I'll let
One of the
you.
ballot counters, actually.
There you go. There you go.
That would be good. Let me see if I can do that. All right, first, Lee, we will move you back into the other room, and then I will follow.
Cool. Good luck, Lee.
Labor Day weekend and just got back in town, so finally getting
Cool.
back into things.
We should have people
All
back.
right, we do.
It was recommended,
All right.
John, that if we could also move you back into that breakout room to keep Rob busy so he doesn't get additional time.
Okay, if that's what you're gonna do.
Either you or one of the timers. I mean,
One of the ballot counters.
one of the ballot counters. I'm sorry, one of the vote counters.
Okay,
Oh, send Nicholas.
Yeah.
Nicholas is going.
Okay, I'll send Nicholas in.
Okay,
All right, breakout rooms. Nicholas, you will be being moved to the other room now.
all right, thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, let's continue with our contest. Our first contestant for evaluation is going to be Lee King. Lee, please go ahead with your evaluation.
Good evening, Karen, fellow Toastmasters, and I see we have one guest. Welcome, guest. It gives me a great privilege to have this opportunity to evaluate Karen's speech. This evening, I will share 3 things that I thought Karen did well, point out a couple of things that Karen may want to consider between now and the contest, and then finally, one thing that I felt she did particularly well. First and foremost, I thought that the format of your speech was very well done. You had a very clear opening, middle, and conclusion to your speech. Your speech flowed very nicely, and all of the different points that you wanted to bring out, you shared with us, and they fit within the context of a speech, a well-organized speech. Second thing that I noticed is that your topic was very relevant. We could all relate to COVID-19 as we're all going through this right now, which is important when giving a contest speech that everybody can relate to the topic. Another final thing that I wanted to point out that I felt you did very well with on this speech was your vocal variety. Ironically, it is no secret that your voice is fading due to hoarseness, but you pulled through, and quite honestly, I think that most audience members would not have noticed. Definitely, this is an opportunity where social distancing and going virtual work to your advantage. A couple of areas that I would suggest that you might want to consider. First, use props when you can use props. You went through the motions, but there were several times that props could be used. For example, when you referred to sanitizer, given your camera shot and your angle, you could easily bring the hand sanitizer into your speech and actually try applying it. Another option would be to actually use a mask. I'm sure you have a mask at home. Go ahead and use the props, as that would really enhance your speech and help drive home your humor that you're trying to spread to your judges. one other thing that I would suggest, having to do with stage presence primarily, is to just watch your hands. I noticed that you preferred to leave all of your hands at or above your chest a little bit. My camera angle is not the best, so it's hard for me to show that to you, but just keep in mind that you want to try to relax your hands from time to time. And then finally, you managed to make this speech work with very few or no crutch words. So good job. In summary, you had great speech organization. Your topic was very relevant. You used good vocal variety. Continue working on how to use props in your speech. Watch your hands. And again, good job. Look forward to evaluating in the future. Back to you, Mr. Master, Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, Lee. So while we take a minute, first off, timers, did Lee qualify on time? Mr. Newland?
Yes. He qualified on
Okay.
time for both of us.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
and
thank you.
also yes, but I have lost my chat window in the process of switching all of those.
That's fine. I was expecting Dagan to have your both answers because you did that before. So let's meet the contestant real quick, Lee. Well, so Lee, how long have you been with Toastmasters? Unmute.
I've been in Toastmasters for about 12 years.
Okay. And I know that you're a DSTM twice. You have two of them?
Yes, I have
Okay.
2 distinguished Toastmasters.
And how
And I
far
forget
along are
which
you?
level.
Pardon me?
And I forget which level I am.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. So then now let's go ahead. We've met Lee. Let's move on to our second evaluator. So Mr. Schroeder, will you go bring in Nicholas and
A quick point of order. Are we supposed to have a full minute in between?
yeah, go ahead.
We,
Although we don't have contest judges, it's not.
I understand.
Critical.
We're at 55 seconds now, so.
Okay.
Well, by the time you bring him over here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've completed the minute.
Okay,
I
cool.
will go retrieve.
Bring Nicholas back too.
Of course.
But
We-
go back
we're-
and
Hello,
look at things.
Oh,
back. So I'm going to bring both of you back in.
Okay.
I will move Nicholas first, and then I will move,
Thanks, Nicholas.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rob.
and then I'll move Robin.
Okay.
Okay, Nicholas, you are being transported.
All right.
All right, Nicholas is going. Rob, you are next. And then I will follow.
Did you see Rob out there?
I did. Okay.
All right, we should,
Thank you. Yes, we're all back now. So I'd like to now introduce our second evaluation contestant for this evening, and that is going to be Rob Giles. So Mr. Giles, will you please present your evaluation for Karen?
Fellow Toastmasters, and especially you, Karen, I want to give you some feedback, and I'm going to use the COD method: content, organization, and delivery. I'm going to give you a little bit of positive for each of those aspects. First, your content. One, this content is very relatable. It's very appropriate for all of us. It's something that we can all relate to very, very much. So I thought that that subject matter was very good for bringing that into your speech. And I think that you did a fine job as far as that content was concerned. One thing that I thought that you might want to think about changing is you had a quote within your speech. And that quote was more of a serious nature, I thought. And although I think it tied into possibly the end of your speech, I think that possibly think about maybe another quote that might be on the more humorous side, something maybe by Groucho Marx or something along those lines, and incorporate that instead, just to bring a little bit more of added life, a little bit more laughter. As far as your organization is concerned, I thought you did great with your organization. You had a lead off where you talked about getting a phone call and hearing the government shut down, and you talked about stuff that we had to do. The basics that we were talking about was wearing masks, washing our hands, social distancing. So I thought you did a great job in incorporating all of that at the beginning in little tidbits, and then you went on, you extrapolated and expanded upon those in the content of the speech. And then you recap those at the very end. So I thought that that organization was very, very good. I thought that possibly you could have did something with the intro, which was have those three things, and then maybe have a little line that summarized those three things in the beginning, just a one-liner, something like, but what can we do about this? And then go into the big points of everything. And then at the end, you had all of your things about you recap the three things, you know, washing, or the main things, washing your hands, wearing a mask, social distancing. I thought possibly you could have came back in, and you did a little bit, but came back in with something maybe a little bit more humorous, which was the actual line of, we can all help ourselves. And then maybe instead of doing it this way, and this kind of leans a little bit into the delivery portion as well, is possibly say, but do it with social distancing. Just adding a little bit of extra humor at the very end there. As far as the delivery was concerned, I think that that was, for the most part, the only thing that I would have changed about it. I thought you did a great job with using gestures for the mask and things like that. Washing your hands, you did the washing of the hands. I thought possibly you could have introduced those things at the beginning of the speech as well, as you mentioned those in social distancing, things like that. But overall, I think you did a fantastic job with the content, with the organization, and with the delivery. You did a fine job. Thanks so much for presenting to us. Back to you, Mr. Context Master.
Thank you, Rob. And I'd like to go ahead and have a timers report. I know it is close there. What is the timing for Rob's speech? Did he qualify?
Yes, he qualified.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So I'd like to now ask for everybody to take a minute of silence, and everybody please vote by sending a private message to both, yes, Mr. Elwood? Oh, okay. Sending your vote to Mr. Nicholas Elwood, and also the same vote to Mark Sims, so that we can collaborate on the voting. Starting now.
Timer is started.
Okay. Okay, thank you, everybody. Welcome back. Like we went anywhere. We just stopped talking. Let's go ahead and meet Rob Giles real quick. So, Rob, how long have you been with Toastmasters?
I've been with Toastmasters just a little over 9 years.
Okay, and what's your highest academic achievement for Toastmasters?
My list is this: Advanced Communicator Silver, Competent Leader, and Leadership, Leadership Development level number 2. So those are my official education achievements.
All right, thank you very much. Now, since I don't know, I said, instead of selling, I'm nowing. So, like now, as we've all voted, we all should have voted by now. I like us to go ahead and move on, and let's do a round robin for Karen.
As
So evaluate.
facilitator, let me do one thing real quick. Because of moving
Sure.
people individually, we technically still have 2 breakout rooms, one of which is empty. Let me close the rooms so that we don't have the 2 breakout rooms.
Okay. Let me know when you're finished.
All right, once everyone is back in, we should be good. We have 8 participants. I believe we are all present.
Yep, we're all back now. All right, so let's do so. Like I said, a round robin for Karen. Of course, Robin Lee, you don't have to add anything unless you wanted to add something that you couldn't fit into your time limit, Rob. Kind of scared me there. You guys are getting real close. But I'll go ahead and start. So, Karen, I do enjoy your speech content and what you got going. I would just love to see a little more energy and really pop some of those comments when you're giving your speech. Let them know that you think this is just crazy. Okay. Mr. Elwood, I'm going to remember you.
All right, thanks, John. Well, and Karen, yeah, thank you very much for your speech tonight. I thought it was well crafted. It was funny. I think that especially your hand gestures are really on point. I thought that you did a good job with that. I also did really like the transition of that portion of the speech when you talked about the wedding. I thought that was a really, really funny. It was pretty enlightening and funny part, and it's just so true with what's going on right now. I wanted to hear a little bit more of that part, though, I think. And I think additionally, too, the one thing I would work on is how slow you were saying things. It seemed like the transitions were a little bit slow, so I think I may have lost, bare minimum, I lost a little bit of track. I think because of the pace, I think it should have just been a little bit faster and more fluid. And that's really all I have to say. And I thought it was a great speech. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Nicholas. Mr. Sims, do you have comments for Karen?
Unfortunately, when I was having my freezing problems, my computer had frozen while there were only 6 people on. So that's why I exited, because I could not hear a word that Karen said until near the very end. So Karen, if and when you practice it prior to the contest, I'll be glad to hear it for the first time and hopefully give you some good feedback.
Okay. Thank you, Lee. Mr. Dagan.
All right, yes. So really what I was thinking is what some other people already said, that just the pace of it, I think would have been better, if he, instead of those long pauses, just pick up the pace a little bit. And like Lee said, I think the props would have been a great idea, hand sanitizer and having a mask for prop. I think just props would definitely give the speech a much better punch to it. And that's pretty much all I got. The content was good, so just to pick up the pace and some props, I think it'd be a lot better.
Thank you. Mr. Schroeder.
Thank you, John. Let's see, I would say that I think the content is, again, very, very relevant to what's going on right now. I also noticed the pacing issues. The issue with the pace is it sounds like you're searching for words. That's part of what it seems like. And so that's why the pace, getting it to flow a little bit quicker, fewer shorter breaks in the middles of sentences. If you want to put in pauses, they need to be right after a joke or right after something funny. A minor tweak with regard to the fist bump, for instance, I think I would actually go a little bit farther distance than that, because people stopped doing fist bumps and started to do elbow bumps. I'd go to elbow bumps. I agree with comments about the props. I think particularly since you're at home and will have ready access to, hopefully, to props. I don't know if you've got a table that you could put nearby or a stool or something that you could reach perhaps for something like a hand sanitizer. That would be ideal if you can put something that is, physically close, because you're probably going to be standing, I would think, for a contest speech like you were tonight. Those are most of the comments that I saw.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Schroeder. Deb, do you have any comments that you'd like to share with Karen about her speech?
Let me come back on screen. I think your speech was very relevant to what is going on today. I think it was very well formulated. As was reiterated earlier, some of the transitions could have been a little bit smoother, but other than that, like, the entire speech was easy to follow. It was easy for me to remember, and it was definitely something I could relate to, because we've all been at home since March. So that's all I really have to say.
All right.
What about
Thank you, Deb. Okay,
Welcome.
thank you, Deb. Mr. Giles, I know you're just chomping on the bit. You got something else you want to share?
No, I think I did at the beginning before everybody started going, but I think everybody hit it. I think the only other thing that I wanted to add was just what everybody said was, that the pace, which included the pausing, which indicated you were searching for what your next word was, which I think just is practice, it's repetition. And I sent that to you in a little chat, and I think that a lot of that can be ironed out if we give you opportunities over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Thank you, Rob. Lee, do you have anything else you'd like to add for her?
No, I really can't think of anything at this time. I think
Okay.
everything's been said.
All right, cool. Thank you. So Karen, there's some ideas to work on. So you want to give your speech again next week? Let me go ahead and line that out. I mute.
You're Toastmaster next week?
No, I'm not. I don't think I am. That I would be after being contest chair this week.
Okay.
No, Rob said no. He was shaking no. Okay, so, but anyway, if you'd like to go ahead and plan to prepare and practice speech again next week, I'm sure, yeah, Rob's got a thumbs up, so he's fine with it. He'll put you on the thing if that's what you want to do.
Mhm.
Yes? Okay, so that's a yes. We're going to call that a yes. Now, before we go on to announcing the winner, I'd like to go ahead and thank and introduce our duty holders tonight. We had 2 of each tonight for what we did, and that was our timer and Dagan Newland and our other timer, Mark Schroeder, in no particular order. Thank you, gentlemen, for keeping time and being consistent and letting us know who the winner was and to confirm that winner. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And our other 2 duty holders tonight were both vote counters, and that was our Nicholas Elwood and our Mark Sims, and they both did an excellent job tonight, and we want to thank them and appreciate all that they do for us. And now I'd like to announce the winner of the evaluation. So tonight, it was a landslide. No, I have no idea how many votes for what, but our evaluator that will go to contest is going to be Lee King. And in the event Lee King cannot go and represent us on the contest, Rob Giles will stand in for him. But only on the event that Lee would not be available. So we will have 2 contestants for area contest, and that's going to be Karen Lee, hear my speech, and Lee King for our evaluation. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
And now, if we don't have anything else, I'd like to move on to the business portion of our meeting. And Mr. Sims, our president, can you take over, sir?
Thank you. For starters, I'd like to thank everyone tonight because we had several different challenges to work through in order to complete the contest. And thanks to everyone that tried to get a guest speaker for tonight. So everyone pitched in. We did have a contest, and we're going to have 2 fine representatives to send to the contest that will occur in early October. So I will email Mary Gomez, our area director, and let her know who the contestants are. And definitely I look forward to attending that. I assume the contest would still be virtual since it's still not all that far off, but whether it's virtual, whether it's in person, look forward to seeing y'all do well in the future competition. And also a word of thanks to Dagan, because it was very painless for me to pay for the dues. The very simple application, just had to put in a little credit card information and I'm done. So I would definitely encourage everyone to renew and to a simple, painless process, and definitely you want to continue, stay with us and continue the learning. And Deb, thank you again for joining us tonight and for participating also. And if you have an interest in joining us, we would love to have you as part of the club, to see you here chiming in on a weekly basis. So please feel welcome, and definitely we can get you all the information you need or facilitate you becoming a member, but we definitely would appreciate having you on the team.
Thank you.
I do not have any additional thoughts. Is there any business anyone wants to bring up? Okay. Hearing none. Oh, Rob, were you waving goodbye or did you want to be recognized?
I wanted to be recognized. I'm sorry. I
Go for it.
apologize. I'm trying to pull up something. I wanted to do a short little presentation for acknowledging our achievers over the past year or so, and it's not going to be very long. But if everybody can hold on, it probably will take 2 minutes, maybe less.
Okay.
Is there music?
Unfortunately, I did not incorporate music. If you have something you want to play in the background, I'm more than happy to allow that.
Okay.
So if let's see here, 1 second. And I do want to mention while I'm getting ready to pull this up is that I've been having member orientation on Saturdays starting at 10 a.m. And Dagan reminded me that it might be a good time to remind people, or at least give people notice, that I am doing this on Saturday mornings. I'm doing Zooms. I just sent out an email earlier today regarding it. So you're welcome to just show up, just use that email and that information. If you have any questions, reach out to me. But I'm there to answer any questions or go over some of the topics that I mentioned in the email. So please feel free in regards to that. And let's see here. All right. So at this point, I would like to go through a few things to recognize some people and some of their achievements within Pathways specifically. I know that we have one other member that we recognized when she achieved Distinguished Toastmaster back in April or May, but that's not who I'm going to be recognizing this evening. 1 second here. All right, so here we go. And right now you see a black screen, but we are Dallas Social Toastmasters. We're home, the loud and the proud. And the first person I want to recognize is John Vessels. And I know that we kind of recognized him a little bit earlier last month, but John is not only an advanced communicator silver from our previous legacy or traditional program, but with this pathway certificate that was awarded actually last year in September, he became Visionary Communications Level 2. He achieved Visionary Communications Level 2. And there you see his certificate of completion for that level. So let's go ahead and give a short little wave for John. Thank you so much for pushing on and pushing through, and I guess in this case, venturing into the Pathways experience. Next person that I want
Rob, real quick, because you have the app being shared, I suspect, instead of the entire screen, we have two black boxes, one below and one to the right, covering this. I suspect the one on the right may be all of the videos that you're seeing.
I'm not doing a full, well, I'm sharing the app, but that's, I can try again here.
The problem is there appear to be things on top of the app.
Okay. I mean, is it obstructing what you're seeing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was covering some of the text.
All right, well, let's go ahead and try this. This is the only other way.
Yeah, if it had not been obscuring, I would not have interrupted. Sorry.
Or I can do screen. Let's see if I do screen here. Okay, what about now?
Watching, I see a white screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. But you don't have any other
No,
obstruction?
no obstructions.
Okay,
We're good.
excellent. All right, so the next person is Mark Sims. And Mark, in our traditional or legacy program, had reached Advanced Communicator Silver and also Competent Leader. And with this pathway certificate that was awarded to him, again, back in 2019, November 26th, he achieved Presentation Mastery Level 1. So let's go ahead and give a quick round for Mark Sims on that. Thank you so much, Mark, for, as you did, venturing into Pathways. There's a certificate of completion for Mark Sims. And the next person I want to recognize is Dagan Newland. And this is a little bit more recent. Dagan is Advanced Communicator Bronze in the traditional or legacy program. And with this pathway certificate that I'm about to show you, this one was awarded to him on July 4th of this year for Effective Coaching, Level 1. So thank you so much, Dagan, for, again, working on your pathways and achieving that level. The next person is Lee King. And Lee, as most of us know, is a distinguished Toastmaster.
Squared.
And that's our traditional and legacy program. And I have no doubt that very soon, I'm not going to say 2020, but maybe 2021, and you never know, maybe I'm not giving enough credit, but we may see Cubed in there very soon as far as his distinguished Toastmaster status. But with this particular pathway certificate that I'm going to show you in a moment, which was awarded to him on July 4th, 2020, Lee achieved Strategic Relations Level 2. Now, Level 1, he had achieved, but that was a while back, and we had actually done that in person. We gave him credit for that in person. So I just wanted to move on to Level 2 for him. So Lee, thank you so much for all that you do for us and for your perseverance through Pathways. Next person, again, is John Vessels, and this is one that we shortly mentioned. Mr. Mark Sims, our club president, had mentioned. Now, John is an Advanced Communicator Silver, as I mentioned, in the traditional or legacy program, with the certificate that I'm about to present or show in just a moment. This one was awarded much more recently on August 20th of 2020, and this was his achievement of Visionary Communications for Level 2. So let's give another round of applause for Mr. John Vessels. And there's one more. This one, again, back to Mr. Lee King, because he was working hard this summer. And as I mentioned, Distinguished Toastmaster Squared. This particular certificate that I'm going to show in a moment was awarded on August 22nd, 2020. And this one goes to Strategic Relations Level 3. Let's go ahead and give a round of applause for completion of this certificate or this level for Lee King. Thank you so much, Lee, again. And let's give a round of applause for everybody again our Dallas Social Toastmasters and all of everybody's work on achieving. We know that it not only benefits them individually, it benefits our club as well in many, many ways. And that includes the distinguished points. Distinguished club
Yes.
program. Yeah, so, and that includes the points for that. So thank you all so much for allowing me to share that with you. It's something that I thought we possibly could do in this somewhat shortened version. And I don't think that there's anything else that I have as far as business is concerned. Just if you want to join me on Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Time, I'm happy to answer any questions regarding Zoom, regarding pathways, regarding our websites, regarding the District 50 website, any of those things that I can actually answer, I'll answer for you. If I can't, I'll try to find an answer for you. If there's anything else beyond that, I'm happy to do my best to find some sort of answer or at least talk to you about it. So thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Lee, for putting, Rob rather, for putting all that together, because that's a good demonstration on the commitment of folks to the club. Again, I'll notify Mary Gomez of the winners. Thank you all tonight for participating, and I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Congratulations, Lee. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Bye.
Bye. Mark, stop recording.
We will stop the recording in 3, 2, I was on mute. I'm sorry. 3, 2, 1.